Andy, good evening. The last thing the folks out here in Town and Country want to hear is more rain possibly on the way. They were saying earlier today on Twitter, a lot of folks saying that Town and Country is kind of like a swimming pool out here because of the fact that so many people have been going up and down these streets in either canoes or kayaks or rafts as well. You can see just this area, George Road and Clifton Street that I'm standing earlier today was up to some people's chests as you go down several blocks in that direction. The water is still around shin deep to waist deep, depending on how far you go down there. But the good news here is the water has started to recede. A lot of these waters that were going into these homes were from a creek that's just about 30 yards off camera here and started to flood these streets. Unfortunately, we've gotten a lot of drive-through traffic because right at George Road and Hillsborough Avenue throughout the day, that area has been closed off and it's been diverting traffic into these side streets, and folks have been trying to get through and then getting their cars stuck out here as well. Residents out here also stuck out here this evening, and as you mentioned earlier today, there was an evacuation that happened. Some folks living in an assisted facility. ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska, I want to bring him in here now because you were out here when those folks were rescued earlier today, and it was live on the air, and it really was dramatic because you really felt for these folks.
Yeah, you did, and you know, I knew things were really crazy when I saw a bunch of deputies walking. They had their guns thrown over their shoulders, and the water was up to here. They went up to a house that's extremely far down there, about waist deep, and what was really scary was the fact that you could see the panic on their faces. As soon as they got in the boat and they were being pulled, you could tell that the panic was going away, but it really didn't end until they got to safety, loaded into a sheriff's vehicle, and taken away. Hillsborough County deputies waded through high water with a commandeered boat to rescue 5 people from an elderly care home. ABC Action News captured the last 3 getting put into that boat.
The first lady we got out, she was crying a little bit and she didn't want to get out, but once she got on the boat and got to dry land, I think she was okay.
Deputies then had to drag the boat more than a block in waist-deep water to high ground, then waited for help to arrive. Even then, they weren't completely safe. Car after car rocked the boat. Deputies screamed for drivers to slow down to keep the 80-year-old women from tipping into the water.
There was no way possible that they would have been able to walk through the water. So I'm just glad we found the boat and were able to get them out.
Hillsborough Deputy Erica Palacios and Ryan Legacy normally work street crimes. Today, they work the streets in a different way to help people trapped by rising waters. What was it like when you first saw them and you realized they couldn't walk? The water's about 1.5 feet deep.
It was scary. I mean, it was definitely nothing that we intended on. I mean, we knew that there was a lot of rain and some floods, but this just took it to a whole new level.
And really the best part of all of this is when they put them into one of the sheriff's department's vehicles, one of the ladies waved at us, gave us a thumbs up, a big smile. They took her to dry land. It was pretty incredible to see, and you know, they're safe with family and friends tonight.
You know, one of the things I noticed though in some of your video when you were live on the air earlier today is that boat was rocking a little bit, and I even saw some cars off in the distance.
People didn't care. People were trying to cross the road even though they could have gotten stuck, and they had their medication, all their clothes, their phones were ringing. People were concerned about them. They couldn't get to them. They were in plastic bags. They were almost getting tossed into the water along with all of their medicine that they would have needed. People just didn't care. Yeah. It was awful to see.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate. When they tell you to stay off the roads, that's exactly the reason, because they have to make decisions like this to get these folks out and evacuate them. You're going to be back here at the top of the hour. Town and Country flooded out in a lot of areas and some damage to the homes as well.
Yeah, we've been in a lot of homes. We're going to put that together inside, and we spoke to one woman who says that her 20-month-old daughter has cancer, was born with it. Now she's wondering how she's going to take care of her in a home that's flooded and where she's going to end up. Well,
All right, Michael Paluska joining us. We'll see you at the top of the hour. Thank you, Michael.